Okay. Beta. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. I'm from that.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, say, boss, K-Po, talk boxing, fuck about political, two times don't last, good people do it off, so call them and follow me, be matter. Peak game, metaphors on one swing. Alright, so, Vergil Ortiz Manager is at it again. Rick Finnegan, whatever his name is. That man said that Vergil Ortiz versus Jaron Ennis should be on the undercard or the co-main event of David Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez. Let's stop right there. Okay. Would that be fire? Yeah, that'll make the whole card better. But that's a main event card for it. That's a main event by itself. Jaron Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz is a main event by itself. Many people will pay to see that fight. You know what I'm saying? Many people will basically pay to watch that particular fight by itself because everybody wants to see Jaron Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz. That's what it boils down to. Nobody want to sit there. I won't say nobody, but it'd be cool to see Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz on the undercard. But genuinely speaking, you know, it'd be more entertaining if that was a main event by itself. And there's more money in your fighter's pocket, more exposure. It's the main event. That's a main event fight, right? You know what I mean? I get it. You want to try to make a big fire card, and that's cool. Hey man, I'm all for it. I get it. But at the end of the day, when you look at that particular fight, that's a fight that's in high demand, right? David Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez. I mean, we just gonna be real about it. Nobody really asks for that. It's a good fight. You know, I'm not finna sit here and cap. I ain't finna sit here and be like, oh man, no, like it's definitely a good fight. But that's not a high in demand fight like Jaron Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz. That's a fight that everybody want to see. Everybody is, chomping at the bit to get that particular fight. We want to see how Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis are going to mix it up, how they're going to deal with each other's styles. That's the, so that can be a main event by itself. But if they decide to put it on that, as a co-main, I think that people will be there more for the Jaron Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz fight. Not going to lie to you. Right? But I get the play, though. Hear me out, though. I get to play with Rick Finnegan's. I've been coming. I get what he's saying. Right? Because it's Cinco De Mayo weekend. It's going to be a lot of Hispanics. Right? It gives Vergil Ortiz the opportunity to gain more Hispanic fans. Right? Or Jaron Ennis. Right? So I see the play. Right? But me personally, I feel like that's a main event fight by itself. Right? I don't feel like they need to wait till Cinco De Mayo weekend. Right? Jaron Ennis fought when? His last fight. What, September? Right? Oh, October. He fought in October, beginning of October. Right? Vergil Ortiz just fought. Right? Like a couple weeks ago. So, why wait all the way to Cinco de Mayo weekend for that fight to happen? Right? The time is now. Y'all need to make that fight beforehand. Y'all need to make that fight like January, February, or March, right? That fight needs to happen way before that. We don't need to be waiting till Cinco de Mayo for them to fight. That's too long for these dudes to be sitting on the shelf, right? And this is the problem that I have in boxing, right? Is you get these promoters and, they want to prolong stuff and they want to sit there, oh, well, we're gonna push this fight to, all the way to May. No. That fight needs to get made for the first quarter of 2026, right? That's a fight that we want. These two are young. They're in prime. They ready to go. You know what I mean? But this fight needs to happen now, okay? That's what it boils down to. Jaron Ennis wants to fight. Vergil Ortiz said he wanted to fight, but then, when talking about I want to fight Errol Spence. And then his team talking about they want to fight other fighters. And, this is a good build-up for this fight. We'll build the fight up first. Nobody want this fight built up. This fight already built up. Let's fight. Like, what are we doing? Right? So, and it's a lot of back talk with Vergil Ortiz team, because they sitting there at first talking about they wanna build the fight up, and now they talking about, oh, Jaron Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz. Yeah, they can fight on the Cinco De Mayo card. That'll be cool. I'm not trying to hear that, bro. The time is now. Y'all should be negotiating now to fight either February or March. Right? That's what it boils down to. Not waiting all the way to April. You had these dudes sitting on the shelf from now all the way to May to fight. No. These dudes need to be fighting often. Right? So Jaron Ennis, right? Him and Vergil Ortiz need to be fighting February, March. Right? That needs to be the time frame when they need to be fighting. They don't need to be fighting and waiting all the way to May. And then they suspended for a month, right? Because depending on how gruesome the fight is, they get suspended for a month, right? And then they'll probably try to fight again in the later half of the year, right? October or whatever. No, we don't need that, right? That's what it boils down to. So, I see what Rick Bennigan trying to do, right? But we don't want to see Vergil Ortiz sitting on the shelf till May. We don't want to see Jaron Ennis sitting on the shelf. We want to see them now fight, right? Okay? Not January, but February or March, right? That needs to be the end of February or sometime in March. That gives them all enough time to come up with negotiations, do whatever they need to do. They get enough time to train and prepare for the fight, right? That's what it boils down to. If they can't, hell, you got all December to negotiate, right? You got December and part of January to negotiate. Y'all negotiate terms. All right, cool. Hey, we gonna fight end of March. Heck, if y'all can't come to an agreement to January, hey, end of March, maybe first week of April, right? That's what it boils down to. But this fight need to happen now, not waiting all the way to May to fight. Because truthfully, these two dudes, they need to be fighting 2-3 times a year. That's what it boils down to. Jaron Ennis needs to be fighting 2-3 times a year. He said he wanted to fight early and off. He want to fight a lot. Cool. Hey, 2-3 times. So he could fight Vergil Ortiz. If he beat him, have a tune-up after that. Okay? A light touch. Then get back in the fire. Jermell Charlo, what's cracking? Right? Which I ain't gonna lie, I don't know if he beat Jermell Charlo. I like the fight. Not gonna lie to you. I like it. Jaron Ennis versus Jermell Charlo. But, if Jermell Charlo ain't fought, in a long time, I don't know. I think Jermell Charlo need to come back and get a fight in. Right? The problem with Jermell Charlo and them is they want the same money. They want that big time money. And you're not going to get big time money when you fighting, a light touch. So I think they just going to try to go straight in the fire. But him and Errol Spence, that's the downfall of them. I think, in my opinion. It's good because it looked like you ain't avoiding no smoke, but on the other end, I see what they're doing. They want that money. And they know, hey, if I come back and fight this little scrub, I ain't going to get, the money that I normally get. Right? So, both of them are going to take a pay cut because of the fact that they're coming off a loss. Right? When you lose, you take pay cuts. But I think that if Jermell Charlo is able to come back, get a light touch in, and then, if Vergil and Boots fight, whoever the outcome winner of that, and that'd be big, because if Vergil beats Boots, then boom, that puts Vergil, he can fight Jermell Charlo. And that's another Texas showdown, which I got Jermell Charlo on that one. I'm not going to lie to you. I think a lot of people sleep on Jermell Charlo, bro. Right? I think me and 2 Cents, the only channels that believe that Jermell Charlo can beat a lot of people. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think it's a tougher fight now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I definitely think tougher fight. Okay? But I still think Jermell Charlo could possibly beat Terrence Crawford. Get mad at your mama, not me. Okay? I already know somebody can be like, hell no! Hell no! I've always think that. I think Crawford has shown me, you know, as far as weight wise, they're like him heavier, and you know, him having that punching power, he definitely can, I think, can hurt Jermell Charlo. Not gonna lie to you. But I still think Charlo, with his like explosive punching power and boxing ability, could be issues for Crawford. Right? Because Charlo do got boxing IQ. He don't get enough credit for that. But that's a whole nother video. I'm sorry. I'll make that video tomorrow. You know, I'll cook on that tomorrow. All I'm saying at the end of the day, keep your thoughts, keep your chill, coming down, working with will, is I see the play, I see what they trying to do with, you know, Jambu and Vergil Ortiz, but I feel like personally it's his own main event. I feel like that fight need to be before Dave Benavidez fight, and I'm talking about before May, right? I think that fight need to be made in like February or March, right? That's just my opinion, that's my perspective. If they're in negotiations now, that fight needs to be made by February or March. I don't think they're in negotiations. You know, I think, you know, everybody kind of enjoying the holidays, but I do think that like maybe into the new year, they'll probably try to make that fight happen. If they do try to make that fight happen and they do able to execute it, it needs to be for end of March or the first week of April. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let's go.